Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Spiral Nights. Now, today, we're going to keep going through our mission section. Right now, we are at Faith in Armor, and from this, we'll get a Cobalt Helmet, Cobalt Armor. So we are just now starting to get into the 2-star stuff, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump into that right away. So, in the last episode, I tried this new thing with the face cam being up in the, up where my character's profile is. And I got some mixed... Yes! The heavy hatchet! Oh, I forgot. Oh, it's so cool! And then we could... Ugh. Okay. Enough gushing about heavy hatchet. It's just an amazing weapon. So, like I was saying, in the last episode, I tried this whole deal where I put my face up in my character's profile picture. And I got some mixed feedback on that. Some people said it was so small, too small. Other people said that it looked cool. So, I'm just going to go ahead and put it as a square in this one, and then I want you guys to tell me which you prefer. And I do know that it was a little crooked in the last one, but just pretend that my whole face was actually where it was supposed to be, and not ugly. So, yeah. So, we're just now starting to get into our 2-star gear stuff, and this level is the very first in that section. And 2-star gear, at least when I was first playing the game, that's when 2-star gear was kind of like it was the beginning of everything when it started to really get going. And for me, that was because it allowed me to get into tier 2 back when it was just a clockworks and we didn't have missions like this. It's just only depth 4. What does it say? Drones. All drones can move in a few different ways. So these things over here are called drones, and I actually forgot they were called drones. But you cannot damage them unless they are exposed like that. Like where's one of them? Like this guy. When they kind of like stand up and look around like that, then they will, they can be killed, but often you can just avoid them, yeah. So they don't drop anything, but they do a lot of damage if you run into them. So I would just say don't run into them, because I don't think it's worth your time to go through them like that. Alright, take out this scuttlebutt. Here we go. So, in regards to the last video I put up, it was a transistor video, the second episode actually. I realized that was probably the lowest production thing on my channel. Okay, one of the lowest productions. I mean, one of the most unintentionally low production things. And the reason for that is because Premiere was just being a jerk. Status damage. So these are also drones, and these ones just do status effects. And that's really annoying, so watch out for that. Ow! Frick. Like that, see, now I'm on fire. Like I was saying, about that transistor video, Premiere just would not work. I would render the final footage, and it just wouldn't do anything. It would just say, like, cannot play the file. But the original file was fine. So I'm not really sure what was going on with that. I know I had that problem one time in the past, and I was able to solve it, but I don't remember how. So I'm really sorry about that. I will, honestly, if that happens again, I'm not really sure what I'll do, because there's not much that I could do. So I just gave you guys what I had and hoped that it would be enough for you, which it probably wasn't, but that's okay, because it wouldn't have been enough for me. I know I would have X'd out of a video that had a green screen and no talking for the first several seconds, but yeah, so sorry about that. You may not have noticed, but I'm actually wearing a suit right now. And the reason for that is because I just gave my senior project presentation at school today. So that's done, and I was in a suit. I figured, I might as well not even just take this off, because I forgot to make the episode this morning. I might as well look classy when I do it. So, now presenting to you, Classy Gaming. I'm just kidding. This is not classy in the slightest. Anyway, so that's what my day's been all about, and that's why I've been kind of not working on videos as much as I should have been, is because I've been really freaking out about that presentation. So sorry about that. So these boxes here have random monsters in them, but it looks like these just have scuttlebutts for some reason. And that's why I love heavy weapons. You can just hit freaking everything all at once. It's amazing. Same with 5-star bombs. Single target damage is just atrocious. It's so bad. It is probably like the worst in the game. Also, pro tip, if you dash like I just did there, a lot of the time you can just you can go through a lot of things that'll deal damage. And I don't know why that is, but that's how it works, and I'm not going to question it because I really, really like being able to do that. So you can dodge bullets with that, you can dodge those things with that, drones, and you can do that with a lot of other things too. So just pro tip of the day. You also notice that my camera setup is a bit different, and that's because my other one was being a jerk. Not as much as Premiere, because it did work, albeit I had to duct tape it together. But then the duct tape fell off, and I decided, screw it, I'm getting out my tripod. So right now, I currently have my tripod next to my desk instead of my camera taped onto my my mic arm right here. Tell you what, I'll be right back. I'm going to reconfigure this again. Okay, so I just did that. I probably sound a little bit different, but hopefully you can actually see me a bit better. Because one of the problems with this new setup is that my camera is so far away, I can't actually really see the monitor, like, at all. So, $5 says that this looks absolutely terrible, and once I'm in editing, I'll hate myself for setting it up this way. But that's okay, because I hate myself about a lot of things. Wow, that got really dark. I don't hate myself, actually, so don't think that I hate myself, despite the fact that I just said it to your face. I make a lot of self-depreciating jokes. That's partially because I can't think of anything else to make fun of, so I just make fun of myself, because I know everything that's bad about me, and I guess I take kind of all the good stuff for granted, being hypercritical. Okay, that's not really where I wanted that conversation to go, so I'm just going to stop talking about that. Alright, instead, my dog's going to bark. Okay, so there's a lot of robots to beat up here. We should probably do that. Man, this heavy hatchet is so nice. Look how far away it just flings those enemies. I'm kind of wondering what 5-star weapons I should really go for on this character. Because, I mean, on my main character, I have a lot of them. All of the best ones. And I don't really know what I should go for first. It's kind of a difficult question. Oh, I'm stupid. That was not a good. Don't do that. That wasn't great. Okay, so it looks like we're rescuing this recruit here. And that was it. That was a level. Wow, that was fast. Okay, cool. And from that, we get 2-star gear. So that's very, very nice. Alright. Oh my goodness, I forgot to feed Marlin. Again, I'm such a terrible parent. I'm used to not having to feed my pet because mine's, on my main character, he's already maxed out. So every time I log on, I don't feed him because I don't need to. So, oops. Okay, so let's go ahead and stuff Marlin's fit. Okay, we're going to accept rewards first. Never mind. Okay, doop, cobalt stuff. Goody. First, I'm going to feed you Marlin. Marlin, I'm so sorry. Okay, what would you like to eat? I don't have very many materials yet, so I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm just gonna give him more spark plugs. He seemed to like those the last time. Boop. Nom. And nom. Okay, cool. So he's almost level 3. And now we just got a cobalt helm and cobalt armor. So what that means is A, we would look a lot cooler if I unequip this hideous costume. There. Okay. So, we look great. We're happy. Happy hits a lot. Okay. So, actually, another thing about it, hits a lot. Oh, I know exactly what weapon we should go for. We should go for, the Cutter series, because they're the fastest hitting weapon in the game. because we're happy and we hit a lot. Get it? Okay. Alrighty. So, that being said, let's go ahead and do our next mission, Strength and Unity. And if we can, I think this might actually be a longer episode, and I'm going to take it up to Shadow of the Beast, which is Snarbalax, or Snarby, as we loving fans call him. Alrighty here, so we got into the loading, we loaded into the loading. Yes, that is exactly what happened. No, we're going to fight the wolvers, and wolvers are basically mean dogs that are adorable but do a lot of damage, and therefore are not adorable and must be murdered. Made that sound a lot darker than it actually is. They're wolves, hence the term wolvers. Get it? Because it's a wolf-er. Okay. So, got a couple chromalists. Watch out for these guys because they can turn invisible. I should have watched out for that drone because I took a bunch of damage. And I'm being dumb because I didn't kill the Mender first. So one of the great aspects of having a Masquerath as opposed to the other pets is that they give, on their easiest ability, they poison enemies. And what poison does is it weakens the enemies, but more importantly than that, when they get healed, instead of actually restoring health, it does damage. It was a gnarly voice crack, by the way. My voice is kind of getting a little sick. But instead of restoring health like they normally do, it does damage instead. And the reason that's so good is because when there's a Mender or something that's restoring a ton of health to enemies, you can just poison them with those quills, and then the Menders end up doing more damage than you. It's kind of great. There's those invisible guys I was telling you about. They're like that lizard in I don't know what I was going to say there. I was probably going to make a movie reference, but then I forgot what movie has a lizard in it. Okay, so this right here, this giant wolver, it's called an alpha wolver, and they buff other beasts. Or I think it's actually just wolvers. And so you don't really want them to do that, because then they're like stupidly powerful. And then Menders come over and just make your life a pit of despair. So don't let that happen. Get DirecTV. Don't get DirecTV. It's not that great. Go on YouTube. YouTube's better than TV nowadays. Alrighty, so I'm stupid! Alright, guys, we're gonna have to use our first Spark of Life. And I'm not used to using those because normally they're really scarce. So I really don't want to use very many of those. As few as possible, actually, so that we can actually go through the series without having to spend money. Or drain funds from my other account in order to revive this guy. I really don't want to do that. Because in order to do that, I actually can't do that, because I'd have to log out in order to just transfer the funds to buy the energy to revive. Ugh, what a pain. Moral of the story is, don't die. I can die once per level and that's it, and I probably shouldn't even die then. So I need to work on that quite a bit, because I am good at dying in this video game. So yeah, so that being said, I need to work on actually working on self-preservation here, because I know during this series I haven't been too studious about I haven't really taken it seriously, and that's because I'm so used to these early levels just being a total walk in the park, because I'm used to having the most powerful gear and just absolutely destroying everything. So I don't have the most powerful gear, and I'm not just absolutely destroying everything. As you can see, it's actually taking more than 2 hits to kill these things. But yeah, so I need to play smarter. Okay, so I made a hype video a couple days ago for the Amputator, which is a terrible gun, and terrible sword, and I knew that even when I made it, just because it was from the Cautery line, and the Cautery line sucks. But it looked really cool, and that's what I was excited about. I'm gonna go explore that less. Actually, no, I'm not. I don't care about what's over there. I don't need that. It's probably something that I really needed. Anyway, so I made that video about the Amputator a couple of days ago, and just a hype video, because I thought it looked really cool. But it turns out it sucks, and I knew that at the time. But it made me start thinking, like, especially about this heavy hatchet. It just looks so cool. I don't know why there's not more swords and guns in the game that just look cool like that rugged, construction-y look. I love that, and there's really not very much of that in the game right now. Most of it's all kind of like fantasy stuff. I know the 5-star normal damage sword for like 2-swing, like this style sword. It is called a Sudaruska, and I mean, it looks cool, but to be honest, I honestly think the heavy hatchet looks cooler. It's like it's a bit longer than this, and it looks like a great big sword with two kind of curved edges at the front, and then there's glowing yellow energy running through it. That was a terrible description, but I mean, it looks really cool, but it's still, I don't know, I still think this looks cooler. Maybe we'll have to craft that just so that I can show you guys what it looks like. Oh dear, look at all the enemies. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about in this video is damage types. And damage types and monster families go hand in hand in that monster families are weak and resistant against certain damage types. So there's 4 damage types in the game. There's normal, piercing, elemental, and shadow. And the way that works is pretty much how I just said it. Elemental weapons usually have something to do with the elements, such as like combustor, which does fire. Stop that, you stupid light. Or a ice troika, I can't remember the name of it, which has ice status effects. Whereas shadow damage is supposed to be like darker things, kind of like Grand Faust has the curse effect. And there's the Acheron, which is just, I'm actually not really sure why it does shadow damage. It doesn't have a correlating status effect. It just sounds cool, I guess. Or Acheron, I keep saying Acheron. It's a terrible mispronunciation. Sorry. And so then there's piercing damage, and they added piercing swords, I don't know, a long time ago, but I was here before those were around. And what that's all about is piercing damage. So like wolves, like these things that I'm fighting right now, wolvers and chromalisks, are weak to piercing damage, so it's really good against that. And they don't hit very hard. They're usually really, really fast, kind of like a rapier would be. Like those swords in Princess Bride, you know, those cling, ting, 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 really fast swords. So that's piercing damage. And then normal damage is just kind of blunt force. Like with this thing I'm using right now, it's just, you smack them with it. And so the thing about normal damage that makes it different from all the other ones is it's normal. It does the same amount of damage to every enemy, no matter what they're resistant to and no matter what they're weak to. The problem is that it kind of sucks. It just doesn't do very much. So now I'm going to talk about beast families a little bit and how that all correlates. So there's six monster families, and I got to think about what they all are. So there's beasts, which I'm fighting right now. Constructs, which are the robots. There's a Soakwing, so I should use the mask right. There's undead. There's fiend. I think that's 4. There's slime, and there's I knew I was gonna forget one. Like, just one. Okay, let me think here. So there's beasts, slimes. Oh, gremlins. It's gremlins. Okay, so there's beasts, slimes, gremlins, constructs, undead, and fiends. So each one of those is weak to a certain status effect and resistant to another one. So for fiends, they are weak to piercing damage and resistant to they're resistant to, what am I trying to say? They're resistant to shadow damage because they're fiends, right? Which makes sense. And then they're neutral to elemental damage. So in theory, using elemental damage against a fiend would be the same thing as using, I need to use that poison mode again. In theory, using elemental damage against a fiend would be the exact same as if you used a normal damage weapon against a fiend. I don't know why I keep saying but the reason that's not really true is because the elemental weapons are just better. They just do more damage, period. So normal weapons are kind of obsolete right now, unless there's like a very specific utility that they serve, like Nitronome. It's a bomb, 5-star bomb. It's great for pushing enemies away. Same with the Leviathan blade, and that's really good because you can. It's got this 360 attack, which does some pretty decent damage, but then it also just like pushes all the enemies away really quickly and easily, and it's good and nice. So yeah. So does that make sense? What I'm saying here? That makes sense. So, in saying all that, what I mean is that different damage types affect different monster families differently. So, if I was going to attack undead with an elemental weapon, I'd do a ton of damage. But if I attacked them with shadow damage, it would be practically nothing. But if I attacked them with a normal weapon, it would be more than that. More than if I attacked them with shadow damage, but not as much as piercing, and definitely not as much as elemental. Okay, I think I explained that. Blades of the Fun. Oh yes, now we get 2-star weapons. Heck yeah, but before we do that, I am going to equip the brand new things that we got. And we got a defender and a blast bomb, which I am not going to use because lower tier bombs suck. Which is kind of sad. It'd be nice if it was like more concentrated damage or something like that, and then like as you okay, what I think would be cool in terms of bombs is if they did the same damage throughout all of them, and just as you upgraded them, the blast radius increased. And for haze bombs, it is like that, but for blast bombs, it's not. Now, haze bombs, like you put it down and it just kind of puts out a mist. It's like this, puts out a mist that inflicts a small status effect, like fire, for example. And I just remembered what this level is, and it's actually a really good level. Okay, but it's probably actually going to be pretty difficult now because I've never done it with the difficulty it was supposed to be played on. It's really quiet. There's no music. Okay, so these things here are really annoying. They do a lot of damage, and they just come up to you and explode, and they drop nothing. But you can kill them with literally anything. They have like 1 HP. So what that means is, oh, we're in a graveyard. Oh, that's a griever. So grievers are fiends, and fiends suck. Fiends are one of, like, they're pretty much the most hated monster class out of all of them, just because like they're really difficult to fight against versus something like constructs, which just waddle around for the most part. Mecha Knights don't. Those are painful, but there goes the music. So one of the other nice things about having a heavy weapon like this is that, wow, there are so many of these stupid little exploding balls. One of the nice things about it is that on the second swing, it will interrupt a enemy's attack so that they don't, if they started an animation, it'll cancel that so that they don't, like, I'll try to show you. Next time he attacks. Well, I didn't get to do it. Oh my word! These stupid... I think they're called like Lost Souls or something. It's kind of depressing, actually. And I guess that would make sense since we're in a graveyard right now. So right... No, not there. Right... Here they go. The Lost Souls go. Okay, I'll show you another time. Right now, it's just... Yeah, right there. I did it right there, and it worked. I can't do it now because of these stupid things. They're so obnoxious. Okay, so I have to carry that statue over here. Cool. Cool beans. You know, I probably should have read the, like the mission statement for this, because I haven't really been doing that, and I need to do that. So as soon as I get to a safe space where these stupid things will quit following me, I'll do that. Okay, I don't think... Uh-oh. Monstrous Codex, Trojan. These massive leviathans are invulnerable from the front. Hit the crystals on their back to bring them to their... Are you kidding me? I get hit even when I'm reading something? Oh, that's stupid. Okay, so this is the first time we meet Trojans. And these suckers are intense. Now, these are stone ones. So I'm just gonna break... Uh-oh. That's a real one. I'm just gonna break... Oh, that's a real one, too. Are these all real ones? Oh, boy. Fighting 3 at a time is gonna be a pain. Oh, it's a sword. Ah! No, stop that. You stupid fiend.
You fiend! You devil!
I hate these stupid lost souls. Okay, so this is a Trojan. They are big and mean. They're made of stone. And the fiends brought them to life with the pink statue over there. So they do that, and it does a lot of damage if you get hit by it. Tier 1 ones are pretty easy to defeat because they don't turn around very quickly. But once you get past there, nothing is certain. So for the most part, you just have to be careful and not let him get hit. And what he's doing is, I think he's buffing his attack. Yeah. So he's almost gone. And when these guys die, man, they can also do that, which can be a pain. So when these guys die, kind of explode and turn back into stone, then you can break the statue to get your money. That was scary. I hate these lost souls so much. Okay, let's see if I can get some needles into it. There we go, I got a couple. Okay, so I just kind of have to dance around this guy and let him attack and miss, and then I'll go after him. And I really wish that these stupid things would stop coming out of nowhere. Use a health capsule. Please? Health capsule? Oh, the wrong slot. Duh. Oh boy! Oh, that was close. As you can see, he took out like 99% of my shield there. I can't believe it didn't break through. There we go. Okay. So these guys are fiends, and they're weak to piercing damage. Hey, look, I can do that too, horsey. And did like no damage. Okay, so he's poisoned now, I think. Maybe he's not. Well, oh well. I tried. Oh, my word.
You stupid souls. How annoying. Light souls.
Oh boy, that was close. So they freak these guys, Trojans. Okay. One of the other things that they do is they stun you, which means you can't move as fast. Which
Have I told you guys how much I really hate these souls? Because I do.
I hate them more than Mechanites. I hate them more than fiends. They're actually probably my most hated enemy in the game because they offer nothing and they just kill you and they never stop coming. Oh, thank God I sniped him. Okay. We got the blade, or whatever. A caliber. Holy smokes, that was hard. At least in comparison to all the other levels that we've done so far. Okay, yay, we did it. We leveled up our defender. And I'm not going to heat any of this stuff because here's the deal. You don't need to, excuse me. You don't need to actually heat 2-star gear in order to craft it into 3-star gear. So there's no point in doing that. So real quickly, I'm just going to look at what this was all about. Not every night when the clock returns to feel the sun on the face once more. Okay, sweet. I got 2-star weapons. Glowing what? No, I'm not looking at that. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes their bodies can be recovered, and other times all that's left is remnants of the gear. Just outside of Haven, Spiral HQ has built a soldier's graveyard where fallen knights can lay to rest. Oh my word, those were all knights? That's so many. Oh, I thought that was like... I thought that was already here. As a spiral knight, you must face the reality of death in order to understand its gravity. Deliver the remains of an unknown knight, a sword, to a memorial within the graveyard. But stay alert. Dark energies resonate from the graveyard, attracted to the countless souls it houses. So we just put the sword there. Okay, that's depressing. But it's okay, because we got a 2-star weapon now, a caliber, which does a lot of damage in comparison. It's a very good weapon overall. And then we got a blaster, and this is a fantastic gun, just because it's all around great, does good damage, good charge attack. And that's actually where I'm going to end this episode. We are at the Shadow of the Beast, the Glowing Wildwood. We're ready to take on Snarby, and we will do that in the next episode. But until then, thank you guys for watching, and that is the end of this video.